Right, good afternoon, learners. In this lesson today, we're going to look at membership fees, which is relevant to the club's accounting section. Now, most of your questions will refer to sports clubs, but please understand that under the club section, we're really talking about non-profit organizations. Those organizations that are not out to make a profit, but to get enough income in to cover all their expenses. Now, one of the most important accounts is that of membership fees. So I'm using question 39 here, and you can see it in front of you. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is the first two entries on the debit and credit side. Now, these entries are actually what we refer to as reversals from last year. Now, it's not something that we've spent a lot of time with, but let's just go back. You are used to doing adjustments where, for example, they will tell you that certain income is owing to you. And you would have created an income receivable or accrued income account. Likewise, if you had received some income in advance, you would have created a deferred income or an income received in advance account. Now, if we have a look at question 39 over here, you will see that under the information given from the end of last year, you are given an accrued income of 6,000. Now remember, accrued income receivable, is an asset. So that would have had a debit balance. Deferred income or income received in advance would have had a credit balance. And that's how they would have appeared in last year's financial statements. Now, when we move into the new year, 2016, however, we can't forget that some income is owing to me and some has been received in advance. So we have to reverse this. As income accrued has got a debit balance, we would credit it to close it off and therefore debit your membership fees account as you see here. Likewise, the deferred income or income received in advance was treated as a liability. It would have had a credit balance. If you want to close it, you'd have to debit and therefore credit this. So it's not something we've spent a lot of time on, but please just understand that these reversals have to take place at the beginning of the year. The other big difference that you need to focus on membership fees is the difference between the bank figure and the income and expenditure. Now, in a trading concern, we refer to a profit and loss account. In a non-trading concern, a non-profit organization, we will refer to it as the income and expenditure account, but it's got the same function as your profit and loss. Now remember the bank figure, this being on the credit side, the double entry would be the debit. This will record the actual cash received. Now some of that could be from last year, because we know some amounts were outstanding. Some is for this year, and maybe people have even paid in advance. Whereas the income and expenditure is how much have you earned this year. If you take all your members for this year and work out which each one of them should have paid for this year only, that will equal your income and expenditure figure. So let's take a further look. You are given a receipts and payments. Remember, receipts and payments is your bank account. It's all the cash coming in and the cash coming out. And first of all, we can see that we received 3 amounts over there. That would be debiting your bank account. Whereas there was a refund, which means you would be crediting your bank account. You are then told that there are 200 members at the end of last year and that the annual membership fee is 500 Rand per member. One member relocated and he resigned with effect from the 1st of June, and his entire fee was refunded to him. So although he only left the middle of the year, we refunded him the full amount. That's this 500 Rand here. So if we go back here and look, there's the refund. You would have credited your bank because you paid him back. Whereas on the credit side of this membership fees account, you would have debited bank and you will credit with the total money received. Some of that, as they've detailed out to you, is from last year, some from this year, and some even from next year. Now, they actually gave you an amount of 5,500, which is included in there. We have to put it in there because the double entry, that money is in the bank. But some of that 5,500 is actually for next year. Look at the dates, it says 20.7. So although we've put it in to record it, we will have to do an adjustment at the end to take it out, and it will be transferred out of this year's membership fees account, and next year it will come back in on the credit side. You are also told that membership fees must be written off. Now, in a trading concern, we would refer to that as bad debts, but as this is not a profit organization, we changed the name. Now, we were told 6,000 was outstanding. In your receipts and payments, you are told that 4,500 was received from last year. Do you see the significance of the dates here? And so your membership fees written off is 1,500. Now, they tell you that certain members haven't paid at the end of the year, and they don't give you this amount. So this is a missing figure at this stage, and likewise, obviously, the balancing figure, your income and expenditure, is missing. And you can't balance an account when two figures are missing. So we've got to look at another way to solve this. Now remember, I said to you, the income and expenditure is the actual number of members you've got this year times by how much they each have to pay. And it tells you, refer to number 3. We were told that we had 200 members at the beginning of the year. We were told that one of them was actually transferred. That was that 500 Rand, so he's no longer a member. You were told that 3 of them, this 1,500, were actually expelled from the club, so they are no longer members. And then 8 new members joined this year. So effectively for this year, you had 204 members, times the 500 Rand, which they give you for each member. And so 204 times 500, that's 102,000. Now, that is often assessed in exams, and you need to see the difference. That is the actual number of members this year times by what they would have paid. Of course, it is possible that you might get some of these members, for example, the new members, might have only paid for half a year, and then you'd have to do a suitable adjustment to this, because some of them would only be paying 250. But you need to calculate how much you should have received. And then this accrued income or income receivable becomes your balancing figure. Right, so just add up the two sides and the 4,500 is given to you. Now, membership fees can't follow the same format all along. And while you can learn what to do, I really do encourage you that you actually get to understand these concepts. Because some of these concepts you're learning here about reversals will apply to your adjustments as you move further in your studies.